What's up, everyone? This is Sox again, and today I wanted to give you guys a sort of look at how I've been doing at this past 7 fight. The over here, this very big zone here. Actually, this zone was very painful at the start when we first walked in. There was a lot of walking to forts and placing and moving the flag. This zone is huge. Actually, I've never played stratagem, so this is a new experience for me. But right now, we're just solely burning through their fort walls. This is also not a recovery KVK. A lot of people are maybe confused when I said this is a recovery KVK in my streams or at some points maybe during my videos. This is not a recovery KVK, but because we're not facing against any like super big Imperium kingdoms like last KVK was against 2429, KVK before was against 1960, I call this a recovery KVK in that we're not against a very hard opponent, I would say. So this is not a recovery KVK, disclaimer. It's just a normal KVK. We're still going to play. We're still going to fight. We're going to have fun in Kingsland, which will open next Wednesday, actually. But the fight for Pass 7 is more or less over. We're just slowly burning through their forts to reach the pass over here, which connects to Kingsland. So I wanted to give an update on how I've been doing myself. So let's look at my stats and compare from the beginning of KVK to now. So we had no fight in our first pass, only pass 7. So these are basically the stats from one zone fight. So you can see somehow my T1, T2, and T3 kills all went up, which is really weird. I do not farm kill. I've never really farm killed since my first probably KVK2. So it's weird that my T1, T2, T3 kills all went up, but the important part is I got 50 million T4 kills and I got 32 million T5 kills. So mostly T5, I'd say about 1 to 2 as the ratio looks like going so far this KVK. And in this zone alone, I got to 47 million kills. So not a bad amount. Obviously, I would have preferred to get more T5 kills. Surprising amount of T4 kills in my opinion, but we were against weaker kingdoms in this KVK, so it was sort of expected to a degree. If we wanted to see our sort of stats on the leaderboards, this is our kingdom sort of stats. Credits to Naughty Poe in our kingdom for doing this for us. So as you can see, this was sort of updated yesterday, but there's been like literally no fighting. It's just been fort burning, so I assume this will not change much in the next week or so until Kingsland. So currently sitting at or under 75 mil power, 10.1 billion kill points, 12.4 million deads. You can see 47 million kills approximately, and about 790 million kill points and 610k deaths, which are all T5. I'll show you a little later. This is where I'm sitting with respect to the rest of the kingdom. You can actually see Bus Driver at 29th right here, Floto at 31 right here, and Farmer at 35th right here. So this is our sort of kingdom data trackers right here also as well. So sitting at 24 right now, a pretty respectable place, I'd definitely say. There was not much fighting, I would say, in this zone for the most part. It's mostly after the first 2 days, it was just slow burning the forts. So this is really all I could do. If there's more fighting, obviously I can manage more, but not a bad amount, I'd say. 24th in the kingdom overall. And if we're looking at sort of the what's it called, the like commander breakdowns, like how many kills I got on each march, individual march, I can look at my Scipio Luce march, and I'm only looking at Scipio's kills. The reason I'm only looking at Scipio is because the kills are split up in between the marches. So let's say from this march I got, looks like approximately 6.5 million kills. So the total number of kills would be multiply that amount by 2. So I guess it would be closer to 13 million kills on Scipio Luce. So what I did was I subtracted the total number of kills here, and then I multiplied that by 2 to get for the march. Because half the kills are given to the primary commander, and half the kills are given to the secondary commander. So my Scipio Luce march got around 13 million kills, both expertise. And let's go to my Nevsky march. My Nev Joan, I've been using this march for a very long time, as you can see. 10/13/2022, so like a year and a half now. So my starting kills around 113 million, ending around 119 million. So if I subtract those 2 and then multiply that by 2, I would get that on my Nevsky Joan march did 12 points, basically 12 million kills. And both of these commanders are expertise. Now, coming down to my Zug Herman march, didn't perform as well as I expected. Zug Herman, both expertise. I recently expertise Herman. If you look at the kills, ended at about 40 million, started at about 34 million. So I got to total kills for my Zook Herman March at about 11.35 million kills. So it's not a bad amount, but as you can see, my Skippy Luce did perform the best out of these three. And then my Huo William, which is not a bad March, but my Huo is maxed. I said it's not expertise. I've said this many times as well. I'm not going to explain the reasoning again. My William is 5541. That's all I can really manage through Heart's Desire and all the other small events, Alliance Mobilization to get my William skilled up. So that's all I got for my William. My Huo William did 10.974 mil kills, so not bad. Not bad for like a weaker March, I'd say. This is like a second Cav March. These are the three meta marches, and William is still keeping pace. Right? You can see it's at almost 11 million kills, pretty close to my Zook Herman March. And my deads, let's look at the deads. You can see the before and after deads right here. So this is after. You can see the power drop also. All T5 deads right here. 610k T5 deads. Note, we still have Kingsland, so I'm not going super hard early on. 610k T5s, which is basically 6.1 million power loss. I also killed quite a decent amount of farms, if you see here. Let me zoom in a little. It's so hard to see. 756k on one farm and 344k on another farm, all T4. So, you know, obviously, if you're in an Imperium Kingdom or a higher seed kingdom, they might be using farm troops to fill rallies or garrisons. I recommend you do the same if you can manage the resource cost of training all these T4s to send in a battle to die. But it is going to be very helpful for your kingdom, especially kingdoms like 2268, which do use a lot of farms to fight in KVK. So you can see I have about 1.1 million T4 deads on my farm so far. Only 2 farms. I'm planning to dump the rest at some point later in KVK. Now, my Crystal Tech. I also have a sort of ongoing Crystal Tech guide. I have a link on my YouTube as well for this. But this is how my Crystal Tech looked before Pass 7 opened. So you can see I mostly finished the T2 Tech off for all 3 troop types. Siege Tech is at 7. Tech Formation at 7. And I went to Call to Arms 1 to 6. All the T3 tech, more or less the minimum, just so I could get further in the trees, like the tech tree. Special Medicines 1 to 4. Call to Arms 2 to 2. And Special Medicines 2 to 2. This is more or less the minimum you can do as free to play, let's say, before you get further in the tech. So my usual trend is to, after doing all this tech, to finish all the T2 tech and then max Call to Arms 1 to 10. That takes a lot of crystal for free to play, unfortunately. For you spenders out there, I know this looks sad, but that's more or less what free to play has, and that's what we're working with before Pass 7. This is also how my tech more or less looks in Heroic Anthem. This is Stratagems I'm playing, which is a different mode, different chronicles, but this is more or less how my tech looks as well in Heroic Anthem before Pass 7 opens as well. Okay, and coming down here to my resources used, I used a lot more than I thought actually. So I started with, as you can see, let me scroll up a little bit. That's not working with me. So I was looking at about 20 billion resources at the start of KVK. You can see up here, this is my start. You can actually see the day over there. It's a little hard to see though. At the end of the sort of zone fight, I ended up using 10 billion resources, which is surprising to me that I used like almost exactly 10 billion resources at the end of KVK. But I was using full T5 marches. Last KVK, I think I used 1 T4 march in the first zone. That's maybe alleviated the resource cost a little bit for me. But this KVK, I'm just going full T5. So 10 billion total resources used for about 800 million kill points, or 47 million kills. It's not a bad amount. Obviously, using full T5 is very expensive, as you can see, especially for free to play without good tech. I am VIP 16. Sorry, I am VIP 16, but which does help with the healing cost, but it is still very expensive for me without good crystal tech. Coming down here to speeds, so you can see at the start of KVK, I had 2381 days, and at the end of the zone fight, I had about 2160 days. Let's see here. So about 221 days were used just in healing. So quite a decent amount. But KVK is not over. This is just sort of like a mid KVK update. So if you don't want to like sort of scroll through all that sort of stuff, the total kills I got were 47 million in the zone. Total KP gain about 790 million. You can see the individual kills from marches here. Skippy Luce is still my best performer overall. Nevsky Joan was at about 12 million kills. Zook Herman little bit behind, and Huo William sort of at the bottom because it's not one of the three meta marches. It still performs pretty well, I'd say, but still lagging behind the main meta marches. Resources used about 10 billion, and the speedups used about 225 days. So that's sort of like where I'm at in this current KVK. I'm not doing too bad overall. I just did hit the 10 billion mark, as you saw recently on my last video as well. So this KVK is going decently. Not as fast paced as I was hoping for, but it's not a bad KVK overall. Next Wednesday will be our Kingsland fight. Next Wednesday will be our Kingsland fight. Our chronicles are a little weird in this mode, honestly. If you can see here, this is our past 9 where Kingsland opens. That'll be the main fight next Wednesday. I'm not sure how much exactly I'll be able to play during the past 9. We'll have to see because I'll be out of the country. I'll be actually visiting family. So we'll see how much I'm able to play during that. The stratagem's timeline is really weird. Look at the Kalkrok coming basically when the Zig opens, and they just throw in all the 3 difficulties right there. So this is really bad for free to play. First of all, I would actually suggest the devs to change the Kalkrok timing for stratagems. I'm not sure if it's the same for HA now, but it's pretty bad for stratagems. But anyways, that's how I've been doing so far in this KVK. Not too bad. My personal goal for this KVK, I'd definitely say would be 11 billion kill points. I'd be pretty happy if I got to that point before KVK ended. Obviously, depends how much I'm able to play, but we'll see from here how much I'm able to do. So next Wednesday will be our Kingsland, as I said. If you're able to tune in, I think it'll be pretty fun because we will be playing basically against Water Camp, who we've been trying to we've been looking forward to fighting Water Camp. They're basically the next strongest kingdom camp in this KVK besides us, Fire Camp. So if you're able to try to stay tuned for that KVK. If you don't want to watch me, that's fine. Go ahead and watch the other content creators, Ploto, Only Farmer, or Bus Driver. Chisco is also there. So yeah, stay tuned for the stream next Wednesday. I don't think I'll have another video out for a while because I'll be out of the country, but I'll be streaming at least one day of this KVK in Kingsland. So until then, thank you.